Hi. Welcome to 8D Structure Problem Solving Training. This is Henry Chuck, from Qualistat. These are the topics going to be covered by this video. We are going to start the training by giving some introductions, then followed by the 8D system, or 8D model. Here, we are not just sharing with you on how to fill up the 8D form, but we'll also cover some technical detail through case studies. Lastly, we will end the training with some tips or tactics for effective 8D implementation. Before we start, it is worth to go through some frequent used keyboard shortcuts for YouTube, so that you can maximize your learning experience. First one is the spacebar. While the video is playing, you can pause it by hitting on spacebar. Hitting on it again to resume the video. The next ones are left and right arrow key. You can use them to seek backward or forward by 5 seconds. If you want to seek further by 10 seconds, then you can use J, or L key, instead. The last two keys we would like to introduce to you are less than, and more than. These keys allow you to slow down or speed up the video playback rate. If you think that the pace of my video is too slow for you, feel free to use this more than key to increase the speed. Okay. Let's back to our 8D training. 8D stands for 8 disciplines. To ease your understanding, you can just assume it is a 8 steps methodology for problem solving. If want to make something popular, first of all, we need to have a standard, so that everyone can follow. Actually, back in 1974, military standard already came out a standard to set expectations between the customer and the contractor or supplier, on corrective action and disposition system for non-conforming material. Customer here is referred to United States Department of Defense at that time. But what really made the methodology popular is until Ford introduced the 8D model for automotive industry. Recently it is so popular across many industries, such as food manufacturing, healthcare, and high-tech manufacturing industries. The 8D system, or 8D model, consists of D1, establish a team. Of course, we need to form a team to solve a problem. Then D2, describe the problem statement. We need to know what issue we want to solve. Then followed by D3, containment action. The very first thing we need to do is protecting our customers, preventing them from receiving further defective products. With containment action in place, this will buy us some time for D4, root cause finding. Generally, root cause investigation will take us some time. Once we have good understanding about the root cause, we can kick in D5, choose the right permanent corrective action, PCA. And verify the effectiveness through pre-production program. Here. After verifying the effectiveness of corrective action, logically, the next is D6, implement the permanent corrective action and validate the effectiveness, through mass production data. Then, we need to go one step further to put system in place to prevent the recurrence, which is D7. Lastly, D8, the team will celebrate the accomplishment in resolving the issue. Management or leader will congratulate the team. This is the sample of 8D form. The form has a column for each D. If necessary, you can pause the video so that you have more time to go through the form. Here we have few more samples of the 8D formats for your reference. You can design something similar for your company, if do not have one yet. There are 2 points I want to make here. First, there is additional D here, D0. In the late 1990s, Ford developed a revised version of the 8D process that they call Global 8D. G8D. This D0 was added in this revision. D0, the preparation, is a gateway to the process. Here, we collect some initial data and decide if a full 8D team is required. Second point. It is worth to point out that 8D step is not a one-way flow. It could be, but not necessary in the sequence of D1, then D2, then D3, etc., till D8. For example, in D4, after the root cause was understood, then we might need to go back to D1, to reform the team by inviting a new member, whom could resolve the issue, or whom is the owner of the issue. Another example. Sometimes we might need to fully understand the problem statement in D2 first. Then only able to know who the right parties are to be invited to form a team, which is step in D1. Without further delay, let's move to our very first D0, preparation. This is the stage for us to gather initial data, generally from customer or who reported the issue. In some companies, this role is played by CQE, Customer Quality Engineer. Some companies design a standard form, or questionnaire, to collect this type of data from their customer. The examples of the questions, in the questionnaire, are, what is the failure symptom, what is the failure rate, how many failures out of, total how many, what is the batch number, what is the batch size, etc. Then document the findings. Based on this initial data, assess if any emergency response action, ERA, is needed. Not all issues warrant a formal 8D team. If the issue is straightforward and could be solved without tying up multiple parties, by all means, you can go ahead to address the issue without calling a formal 8D meeting. To ensure the consistency in deciding what level of issues warrant a full team-based problem-solving effort, we need to define a set of 8D triggering criteria. There are two types of 8D triggering criteria. One is used for issues triggered internally in factory, while another is for issues triggered externally by customer. Here we are going to share with you the common criteria for issues which triggered internally. First criteria is for issue beyond the capacity of an individual or one department to resolve, where team needed to be formed. Second criteria is when there is potential line down situation. The third criteria is related to material issue which might cause discontinuity of material supply. The fourth is when there is potential escapee to customer. Next are, when the yield loss or single error code DPM is more than certain threshold. DPM stands for defects per million. It is failure rate to describe how many defects in a million parts. Some people call this DPPM. Defective parts per million. Well, how high the threshold we should set? It pretty much depends on which industry you are in. And it might be different from company to company. If have opportunity, I will develop another course on how to use statistical concept to set the threshold. The following criteria is related to outgoing quality control, OQC, or out-of-box, OOB. In general, OQC or OOB is the last inspection or test gate, and it will be performed on sampling basic. If detecting failure here, means there is high chance defective products will be escaped to customers. If the issue is due to administrative error, such as using the wrong part, then most likely the whole batch of material will be impacted. For this case, we might trigger to form 8D team, since we might need to have massive rework. Some companies will want their production line to trigger 8D whenever they detect 3 consecutive failures, or total 5 failures in a shift, which the 5 failures might not necessarily happen in consecutiveness. 3 and 5 are just arbitrary numbers. You can use any other number which suit your business need. Another criteria is when you need to initiate a containment action to pull back the products which already shipped. And, of course, if there is potential safety issue. Lastly, if detected reliability failure. Generally, sample size for reliability test is limited. Even detected one failure, the failure rate is considered high. You might not want to implement all these triggering criteria at once. Only select those are appropriate for your industry and suit your business need. While for issues triggered externally, generally, customer will spell out clearly if they need an 8D report from you. For automotive customers, they might request 8D report for every single failure. Sometimes, we might have mutual agreement with customer, whenever the overall defect rate is more than certain committed goal, such as 1000 dpm, then we need to provide 8D report. Similarly, for the case when reject rate for single error code is more than certain dpm, say 500 dpm. Same as, internally triggering criteria, when there is potential line done at customer. When customer need to perform containment on their shipped products. Or, when the issue caused customer having safety or reliability concerns. Then definitely we need to trigger for forming of 8D team. Once we decided 8D is needed, naturally we will move to D1, establish a team. More heads are always better than one. Especially when a problem could not be solved quickly by an individual. The team is comprised of members from multiple disciplines. For examples: quality, engineering, purchasing and sales. It depends on what type of issue and what kind of knowledge is needed. Product, process, logistic, material, test, etc. The decision made is team decision. I see this as advantage of team approach. It will relieve the pressure of single individual from making silo decision. It is important to point out that, during the progress of problem solving, we might need to invite new members into the team. For example, upon your investigation, you found out that the team might need someone specialize in certain area for issue solving. Another example is to invite sales, who is familiar with certain geo, for assisting in pulling the affected products back from the field. This means, the team is back to reforming stage. If you see value in this video, please click on the thumb up, and share. This definitely will motivate me to make more quality video related to this. Please click on subscribe too, this will ensure you would not miss any subsequent videos. Before we end the session, let's close our eyes, observe a moment of silence, pray with your own respective religion. May the community full of peace, and may the world free from disasters. Looking forward to see you in next video. Thank you.